Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. Walking down the street, carrying 2 things of water with me. Where to? As I often do, don't have a destination, just looking for the Lord to gather me some strength to do what needs to be done in whatever way necessary. I called Miss Drew this morning, which is the lady I was supposed to call in regards to speaking about GR. Left a 3rd message with her. Hopefully she'll be able to get back to me today. Ate some really good breakfast. Oatmeal was especially delicious this morning for some reason. I think I'll buy the oatmeal that I'm now, trying from here on out, because it's the better of the 3. Whatever the Target name brand oatmeal is, it's pretty damn good. It's just one of them days, man, where I woke up this morning not necessarily feeling as strong as I needed to, kind of trying to embrace what's next, and maybe having to go back to work and trying to find the motivation, if not these circumstances being that motivation, then what is what I say. And I just got to accept that I have to do it, and whether or not I'm capable, quote unquote, of doing it or not, the help that I need isn't there. So you can either continue to tumble forward or not, and get the consequences that come from not. I've been itching for all day yesterday. It's kind of subsided a little bit. I think it's a spider bite or a red ant bite or something, but that was significantly worse yesterday. It's still red, it still itches, but it's not nearly as bad as it was yesterday. Today it is manageable. Yesterday, it was ridiculously swollen, and it's like twice as red. It looked like something that shot me in the arm. It was so damn red. And the thing is I'm not sure it's not a combination of both the allergy of touching something I shouldn't and a bite. I think it might be both. I think the animal, the little, whatever bit me on the infected area. I think that's what happened. I really do. I honestly believe that. Because when I put on the ointment, it just did nothing. Ointment, nothing. And when it started to go down, I saw the little indenture of the bite. I'm like, oh snap, this is a bite. I was almost certain it was infected from what laundry detergent otherwise my hand touched. When I told y'all, remember I was walking down the street telling y'all that my laundry detergent had disturbed parts of my arm. Problem was, it wasn't that part of my arm, it was the inner arm. And when I put ointment on that, it just disappeared. But when I looked at my ankle, I had 3 different bites. I believe that probably came from when I was at the park, walking around, sitting near red ants. They probably climbed up into my sock and bit me. And then I had one on my upper arm as well, and I'm not going to show you now. But it was ridiculous, because all 5 of them had flared up at once yesterday in the afternoon. And I was trying my very best not to itch them. The ones on my ankle, I didn't do a good job, but this one I did a great job. The one that was most important, I don't scratch, I hadn't scratched. So yeah, man, that was a little bit of a headache, to be honest with you all. That's a nice little mirror. There ain't no mirror in my room other than the one in the bathroom. And I was like, yo, that's a nice mirror, but I'm not bringing that with me. I'm not carrying that all the way back there. No way. But yeah, man, just dealing with that. I was up till like almost 2 in the morning. And it's funny because I made a playlist. Everybody go check out BDF 44 at Apple Music. I ended up putting the T-Mobile SIM card back in the phone. Still not off of T-Mobile because Q-Link wireless is too slow to upload anything. I couldn't upload the videos that I made at all. Because the only way Q-Link worked is if you either have a VPN, as to which none of the VPNs that are fast enough are going to be free. So you might as well pay for your cell phone if you're going to get a VPN service to speed up your downloads. Or if you're connected to the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi in this building kicks you on and off. It's so frustrating. And so I just put the T-Mobile SIM card back in, and they have yet to kick me offline. So I'm pretty sure they will do that at some point. I may not be able to upload this, but I did bring the Q-Link SIM card and the little poker thing that allowed me to put the SIM card in. So for some reason it does go down, I at least have my phone available to me on the road here. I'm gonna try to find a cord that goes with the fast super fast charger, because honestly, the other charger is just too slow. And them little cords only cost like $15 at the most. So I'm very fortunate my uncle sent me some money that they said they were going to send me that'll take care of the duration of this contract. And the only thing I really want to buy is what I've already bought, which is a little bit of money to get my bus pass stored. Hey, buddy. And this cord that ultimately I could have delivered to me, but since I'm on the road, I know of a few places that I can get that cord. So that's the mission, is just try to find the cord right now. And just kind of just get out of the hotel, just continue the mission of working in the positivity of my mental health, which is, you know, not falling back into the mindset of staying inside every day, for which I don't feel inspired to do in any way. I don't feel inspired to do that, to be honest with you guys. Since I've been on this side of town, I've really liked walking around. I don't feel bound at all. In fact, I feel more anxious about getting out than I do about staying in, which is a miracle, a real miracle in my life, given how I've been living for the last 2 years. I love myself, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to help myself to the betterment of my ability. And I don't really know how to get out of my own way. I've never known how to do that when it comes to things that I really hate doing. And so this is when the rubber meets the road and you must. And I'm willing, you know, after being in that hostel, I'm telling y'all, after being in that hostel, I felt more strength towards fighting myself in these ways than ever. I think that's natural motivation from difficult times and uncomfortable stuff, you know what I mean? When you in the red, and then you have to go into a situation that makes you even more red, so to speak. If you guys follow me, you know that means when I'm in my most frustrated space. I think that was Jay Worthy, the MC, Jay Worthy from out here. I think that was him. I'm almost damn certain that was him. Shout out to Jay Worthy, man. Big fan of your music. At any rate, it's one of them situations where I was just more anxious to accept things that are not fun for me, or, you know, not what I want. Like, I woke up this morning saying, you know, it's crazy, man. I had a dream last night. It just kind of basically was my mother coming to me, giving me a list of reasons why I'm not acceptable to the women that I want right now. Very, very hard to absorb, but I prayed about it and it seemed fair. It seemed like it was okay that I was receiving this. It was like, the girl that you want probably ain't seeing you the same way, because you try to inspire her one way and then don't prove that in your own way. And she has to go about her life facing the same things that you run from, and she doesn't find herself weak to that. And you tell her to inspire her, you know, be inspired to stay consistent and achieve her goals and work hard, but you're not willing to get a job. And while that makes sense to you, it's very difficult for a woman to choose you in her life when she sees no path to you being of support. When she sees her father working hard, she sees her brothers who, you know, God bless his soul, you know, working hard in his life, and then she looks at you and she doesn't see that in you. She sees potential unrealized and no desire to realize that potential as you continue to grow older. What do you bring to the table long term, or even in the midterm, that should inspire her to see you anything other as someone that should not be respected, as a man, a good soul, maybe a handsome face to some degree as you grow older, but not someone she can actually see herself doing anything other than having to carry in her life. And it's the same thing that Bernitha was telling me back in the day. It's like, you're a nice guy, B, but you ain't trying to get to no money, man. And at the end of the day, it takes money to make money out here. And if you don't have just the basic desire to make any, whether it be one way, another, or a third, then you're just going to be a burden, more or less. She didn't say it in that way, but it's hard to inspire within a woman's self to see a man that she can't see a good wedding with, can't go on trips with, or whatever the case may be, who's going to always be asking for something for somebody, if not her, then someone else. It's just not. And when there's so many other men who are not doing that, you don't have to, you know, none of the women in this world want to carry a man, not even the rich ones. And if they do, then there's loosely something wrong with them, and you're not going to want them. It's like, at some point in time, if she didn't bring characteristics to the table that you want, you wouldn't be as inspired. You may love her, but not in a way that makes her choose you. She's going to choose somebody. You're going to choose somebody else that better fits whatever criteria would make most sense. So the Lord was just essentially telling me in so many different ways, you're going to have to accept that as you go forward, so long as you're not showing, not only to this girl, but any woman, that you are capable of overcoming this. Not just willing, but can effectively do so. And I didn't know if that was really God coming my way or just the enemy attacking me, but I didn't disagree. And I woke up this morning feeling inspired to absorb that in a way that felt stronger to me. By the way, she just hit me up right now, said something in my inbox, seemed pretty positive, seemed pretty nice. But I tell you, man, I don't disagree with that energy, even though it didn't seem like it was flattering to me. I wouldn't want my sister to choose somebody who couldn't get it together. And I think about my sister Sarah. She's in a relationship right now. Looks like the guys she choose have good heads on their shoulders. The ones I've met seem pretty solid, can make a way for themselves. I don't want them to choose somebody like me, even though I feel kind of helpless at times, or have up until this point. That doesn't mean that that's a helplessness that someone should be burdened to carry. And while I'm strong enough to do all different types of things that would otherwise make me money, if I'm not strong enough to put myself in a position to monetize those things, or if I have choices in my life that keep me from monetizing those things, then I'm not a worthy candidate. And that's not something I appreciate, but it ain't something I've done enough about. I'm sitting up here waiting for the government to come bail me out. And while my psychiatrist tells me that I'm deserving, at the end of the day, that's not coming. And even for it coming, it ain't a way forward. It's just a way forward to dream of poverty. You know, no woman is dreaming of being in a poverty situation, especially when they're working hard, man. And while I know you guys know that, I'm more so speaking to myself and anybody who would otherwise not understand it. No woman's dreaming of being in poverty with you, bro. Regardless if it's your fault you're in that or not. And while she may be strong enough to stick with you, if you found a woman that could stick with you, or maybe you were in that situation with her and you guys fell into that together and she sticks with you, you have an amazing life with love. And hopefully, by way of your hard work and your ability to work on whatever you need to and save, you guys can not only get out of that situation, but rise to the top of this capitalistic society we're in. What I'm telling you is, yesterday I was sitting up, making my food, cleaning up my dishes, doing all the things that a man often doesn't do alone when he's in my age. And I realized I deserve to be alone because of that, I think. Not necessarily because I don't provide love, because I do. Or not necessarily because I would be a cheating man, because I'm not. But there's another problem. The problem is, you ain't buying nobody nothing. For their birthday, you're not buying you're not able to chip in for financial circumstances. My homegirl Brunzi told me something. I don't think it hurt my feelings. I think it just kind of catered to this truth. She said, if something were to go wrong in my marriage, I know I can't call on you. I can't come to you. And I felt like that was hurtful, but I don't think I received it in a hurtful way. It was more so like, yeah, you're right. But I would be willing, if not for the circumstances I'm in, to shelter you and your child, to shoot y'all some money if you didn't want to live with me. That's fine, obviously. But like, to be in a position. And when I was working in my security job, I was in a position. I had a car. I had my own apartment. So if for some reason things went completely bad, I had my job, I could have shot her some money. I could have, there was things I could do. But within this mindset, where I identify as somebody who's mentally ill and somebody who refused to do anything for money at all, for my own comfort and ethics, for which I feel are just, I think everything having to do with capitalism in a way is bad. But when I look in the Bible, with the lesson I learned yesterday, it spoke of money. It spoke of giving money. You gotta earn it in order to give it. You gotta have it in order to give it. So how could everything having to do with money be against God if God is telling us that we have to give money and I don't have any to give? I mean, it's at some point, it's like, yo, why am I so special in my own mind that I don't have to work while everybody else does? And then I remember when I was working how accomplished I felt in the mornings going to these jobs. And some of them jobs I had, I was getting up 9:30 at night to work to 6 in the morning for like 2 years straight. I got up sometimes at 5:30 in the morning to work out, 5 o'clock in the morning to work out so I can get to work by 7:30, having accomplished my goals, and did that every day for 2 years straight. So it's like, whatever's in me right now that tells me I can't has already been proven that it's wrong. Not only can I, but I did it for an extended period of time more than once. I just think that I'm worn out by it, you know? It's not that I can't do it. It's just that I've gotten to a point where I realize the excuse to not do it may be available to me based on my mental health. And so I've chosen to believe that, and then from there, look at all the different things that I do here and don't want to sacrifice those. That's what it really is. I don't want to sacrifice my Laker channel. I don't want to sacrifice my ability to make a playlist. I don't want to sacrifice what I have going on here with this ability to walk down the street aimlessly and not have nothing, nowhere to go and no schedule, nobody telling me I'm about to be late for nothing. This is living for me. And in response to that, I can be as productive as possible. I did 2 playlists that I think are classic over the last 2 days. 2. The K-List 361 and 362. They're both excellent. They're both fantastic playlists. They're both worthy of your purchase. If you like the type of music I put together, you would like the playlist I made. I don't know how to take from anybody when it comes to, not when it comes to my family, which makes this make no sense. Not when it comes to people who I love the most, who are giving me money to give me an opportunity to keep myself up. But when it comes to asking the wide public, for some reason that's ethically something I would choose not to do. It's like I'm entitled to not have to force finances upon myself and others. I don't want your money. I don't need your money. I'm not asking for it. And because of it, I don't have it. And I need it. And so I take it from people I most love. It doesn't add up. What I'm telling you is I think I've been in a lull. Hold up. Shout out to Kobe Bean, man. Word life, man. And Drakeo the ruler right next to him. And I can't see who that other person is. But rest in peace to them legends right there. LA legends. But like, I think I've been in some type of energy where I don't think that's of God, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I start to really assess where I'm at and how it's going, somewhere I went wrong, man. Obviously, you know that, but I think I'm finally coming to understand that. Somewhere, something went wrong. Somewhere my ethics got crossed. When people talk about the ethics in regards to the American government right now, they're condemning the Palestinian American child, rest in peace to him, and the murder of him and attempted murder of his mother. Hopefully she makes it through. They was stabbed up by the landlord. They condemn that, but then will turn around and fund what Israel's doing, which ultimately inspired this type of murder. It's like, I'm not engaging in anything less than hypocrisy. When I tell you I don't want to mobilize myself to sell any of my art, don't sell anything I do, don't ask for Cash App on my Laker videos, none of that. But then we'll turn around and take my family's money. I feel confused. I feel confused, and I'm unhappy with the results of what came of this. Very unhappy, man. But yet, here I am walking down the street yet again, no hustle in sight, not looking for work, not doing anything, but holding these damn shares for which I probably should have sold to get the free money that the government otherwise would say I can have, waiting for another opportunity to appeal something that they already have in stone as a rule. And I told myself I don't want to sell my shares. I want to earn more money and build on my position, but I can't do that without a job or without some money. And the government itself is telling me that they don't approve of me having these shares, for which I know isn't right. It isn't right. But neither is what I'm doing in this way. So who's all wrong? Me, them, everybody. You know what I mean? At some point, you just got to look at it that way. You can't just point out the wrong in others and point out the wrong in what you see elsewhere And then forget to point at yourself and say, yo, I'm not all that. I'm wrong. And I see that I was, and now what do I do to undo the conditioning that allows me to stay wrong? And I don't really have the answer yet, but I'm hoping to find it right now. Because at the end of the day, I do not want a job. Not a real one. I want to work on what I'm working on, which is very, very productive. All the different things I'm good at, which is a pretty few of them. But as far as me working for some security company to provide myself the most basic needs, I've yet, within my understanding of all of this, to go toward that, because I do indeed feel uncomfortable about it to that degree. It makes me very uncomfortable. And comfort for some reason takes precedent, even though I can't secure my comfort, but only more discomfort. And the results of not going toward that. I think we've already established that I need help mentally. I think we've already established that there's something wrong here. What we haven't established is how to override it so that I can move forward in what would otherwise bring me any sort of stability. And thus would welcome the respect of my most dear to me, which is my loved ones, my friend Kay, of whom I would love to be more than a friend someday, but I would not agree that she should choose anyone who has these problems. I don't want me for her as currently constructed. So while I can sit up and be upset about me not being chosen, or how I perceive her stepping away from me, taking some of that energy away, I also understand that that's due to anybody that has these applications of truth. Because at the end of the day, I don't inspire. I don't inspire no stability in my life with these problems. And while I'm not angry about that, because it's a problem that needs a solution that I can't find, I can't seem to receive. If that solution is in me, that needs to be found. Especially at this age. I'm not 21, I'm not 27, I'm not 30, I'm not even 35. I'm 39, I'm going to be 40 in about 9 months. I don't even know how much time I have left. I got energy now, but it's like, how much will I have if I continue to stay in poverty? How long can I take care of myself the way I like to take care of myself? I can barely keep my phone on. And the free services don't allow for people to have the ability to upload videos. The free services are slowed down because they are assumed to be for people that don't have any inspiration within them. I am a creative. I have nothing but motivation to create. I have nothing but motivation to broadcast. I have nothing but motivation to do. Except for Henry Ford's schedule that he placed upon all of us to be worker bees. I stayed away from school that taught me how to want that or how to have my esteem attached to that. I stayed away from anything that would otherwise put me in a frequency that would allow this to be something I would aspire to. I don't want that schedule. 12 hours, 9 hours, 5 days a week. I don't want that schedule for myself. I abhor that schedule. I loathe that schedule. I want to do what I'm put here to do. And what can I do? I walk past people working every day. You think they want to do what they're doing? You think they love this? No. What makes me so special? If not for the choice, which leaves me with these consequences. I'm telling you, I don't find no peace in any of this. Nothing brings me peace, not even what I'm doing right now. Because I know the last time I walked down this street, I was headed toward a hostel that provided me one of the worst nights I've ever had in this life. God bless those people there. They provided a good place for all people. And because of it, we dealing with every kind of personality there was. I'm fortunate enough to have family and love that gave me the money needed to be able to pay so that I don't have to live in a place like that for at least another 2 weeks. At least. And you know what comes of that? More need to figure this out. And I feel like I'm nowhere near it. Because at the end of the day, the way my spirit is set up is I look at all of those different things that I just said, and then I look at that open-ended feeling of knowing that once I get a job, I can never leave it again. Once I get locked into one of those situations, I will never be able to do what it is that I've been enjoying for the last 2 years, which is every single thing that I've been able to accomplish in art, playlists, all of it. I won't have the energy to do it. My body and how I work out and how I'm able to take care of myself, I wouldn't have the ability to do that because my schedule would be locked in to trying to make a way through a 9 to 5 that ultimately feels everything wrong with my life. 9 to 5 hours where I should be spending doing all of the things that I love to do instead of the various different things that I'm forced to do to make the very little money that I'm ultimately forced to make. I hate my life based on the need to do this and the inability to bring myself to do it. I hate it. I don't hate many things, but this is very difficult for me, man. And because it's difficult, I haven't figured it out yet. I'm telling y'all that there has to be a way that I haven't figured out, man. There has to be something that I'm not doing or that I ain't learned that can make it so that all this algorithm that comes with doing what it is I've already proven I could do, but never came to nothing. All them jobs I had, it left me with nothing. Even the money I was trying to save, I couldn't keep because of the circumstances involving AMC, for which all my savings went into. Am I mad at those people? I guess. You know, the hedge funds, I guess I'm mad at institutionalized corruption for being itself, but what the hell are they trying to work against? This, as a conglomerate, together, they're trying to rise to the very top of capitalism that was in place before they got here. And they're using the very little time that they have to do what it is that they know how to do, which is cheat me and cheat you. That's what they know how to do. And they want to keep the ability to keep their kids in these soft lives that ultimately I feel I deserve. And maybe they're doing something good with, maybe they're not, I don't know. But the point is, this is what they're trying to secure by cheating the world of its economy. This is what everybody's doing by cheating the world. If you ain't cheating the world, you had better understand that you're being cheated and find some meditative space within that to live in that space, because there are people who have been in place for years and years and years forcing all of this upon us. And it don't matter how many tears you cry or how many prayers you pray. Today, this is what it is. You either live it and stay livid about it if that's what your mindset is, or you can die. That is your choice. But do understand that you won't have the money to pay for yourself to be buried if you don't capitulate to some degree of this. And I'm supposed to find peace in this reality? I'm supposed to want this shit? I don't want any of this. But I also don't want to be looked at as someone who isn't respected because I can't do as Romans do in this Roman Empire, so to speak. Choose not to do as the Romans do, but still want to be able to do what I need to do within Rome. This is the problem with me. I don't want to do nothing to take to get money, but I sure take money from my family, take money from the government, take money from this, that, and the third. That is what is wrong with the world. I am what's wrong with the world, no different than the corruption in it, because I'm no different. I'm just not willing to take the steps to corrupt it. I'm just willing to take from whoever would give. A beggar, so to speak. Think I find peace in that? I find no peace. So I just walk down the street and I use my voice to speak to what it is that's wrong with me, what's wrong with the world, what's wrong, man. And hope that I can inspire myself, if no one else, to just get a damn job and just do this shit. Work it, let your body do what it's gonna do, get your paper, spend money on the stuff that's available to you, because that's all that 2023 provides. It doesn't have a higher frequency for that. It doesn't. You either do that or you die, man. And while I know that in the future this won't be the case, we will overcome all of this someday, I'm not alive for that. I'm alive for this. Just like my ancestors were alive for slavery, just like my, whatever. They had to live through their times. They couldn't try to fast forward into what's more comfortable so they can just get a job. They had to work for free and get whipped and deal with whatever the hell they had to deal with, or choose the ocean. Hop off the damn ship. And they prayed every day. And that benefits me so that I have an opportunity to not live that way. But that don't mean I get to live the way this is, hate it, and not do nothing within it. And that's the problem that I've been having my entire life. I rejected that notion. I wasn't going off the ship, and I wasn't going to be a slave. So I guess I would have had to get whipped and cut my legs off and all types of other stuff that just doesn't feel any better. I'll tell you, I don't know how I would have survived slavery times. I probably would not have. Well, I'm telling you, I probably would not have survived that. It's like I'm barely surviving this. But the funny thing about me is I feel like I have so much to give to the world on top of this. With all the different things I got wrong with me, there's 10 times more things that are more right than wrong. But again, this world does not provide me a frequency higher from which to operate in. This is the only frequency they allow. So how do I get around it? By telling them I'm crazy. Because that's the only thing that makes any sense. I would love to tell the world I got it right, but there are a lot of things I don't understand clearly. Respecting certain things to make sure that this never happens, so that people don't look at me like I'm some type of lazy person or some type of entitled, spoiled person that doesn't know better than to just do worse. Gotta be crazy, right? That gotta be. That's the only way that makes sense. Everybody else is doing what they have to do. They've been influenced by things that allow for culture that their esteem would keep them from doing this. Their ego would keep them from doing this. Mine does not. It's the consequences of going through that ultimately shames me, not the next person or this person's opinion or none of that. I don't have none of that in my life. Never have. I've stayed to myself. I have my own culture. As I've told y'all a million times. I ain't sitting up here waiting for nobody else to approve of what I'm doing. I know that I'm not going to be approved. It's like Kyrie said, man, I ain't worried about what other people thinking. I've been sitting in this corner while people calling me different for so long. Since I was a little kid. I'm just like him in that way. Saw a little clip of him saying something like that. Like, what you think I care about people having something to say about me? I've been different my whole life. Been standing in the corner my whole life while everybody else was doing whatever the hell, the kind of politics, type of gangs, whatever they doing, man. I ain't had nothing to do with none of that. Even though, ironically enough, within my soul, I believe I have the ethics to be a better one than a lot of them are. Be more loyal. Be more influential to get in better circumstances. Be a better shooter, unfortunately enough. But it's not in my heart, man. I don't want to do that stuff. I got one life to live. I don't want to die doing stuff that y'all agree to do. That stuff is trash. It leaves so many people in circumstances where they don't need what they don't have what they need, man. In jail for the rest of their life thinking that they gonna, nah, you ain't getting out. I was listening to Wallow say that this morning. Dude's doing 40 and 50 years of life. Trying to keep up with gang stuff for their homeboys to say he'll be home soon. Nah, homie ain't coming home. He got 50 years. He's already 20. He gonna be there till he's 70. Denial, man. Complete denial. And a lack of understanding of the times they're in and what it actually means to not be like this forever. People are making decisions as if their lives and their bodies are going to behave the same way they are right now. I'm no better. That's the point. In fact, I'm worse. Because I know better and I'm still doing worse. I'm not ill like that. I'm ill like this. And so for all of this right with me, there's more that I have to work on so that I can make a living for myself. And I don't even know where to start because I don't have those connections, because I don't deal with people like this, because I'm this and that. Isolation and all this stuff that doesn't provide me the understanding or the information or the connections to do better. How do I step into that? How do I turn into somebody that's social enough to start selling himself, so to speak? When I've spent my entire life in a corner minding my own damn business for the most part. Not wanting nor needed from anybody else. And I wake up one morning and need to take all of the different things that I've done and promote them. I've stayed in the corner my whole life to keep from being noticed. In some ways. The very thing that makes me feel as confident within my talents and the ability to create things that I create is the same very thing that puts me in a position to not want to do anything that would otherwise promote me. It's no different. It's the same brain. The same brain that doesn't want to do certain things. It's the same brain that wants to create all these damn playlists, perfect pitch, do all these different poems that I can do, all this different stuff, man. And I just see people tumbling forward to remind me of how much worse it gets for being this way, man. Frustrated, but not without an understanding. And my frustration is due. You got to do better if you want better. Otherwise, better will not come to you. This is what it is. I'm frustrated, but I'm not without an understanding that that frustration is due. And I just want the Lord to wire me differently from here on out. Get me back to a space where I don't care that my body is going left from working a shitty job that I can't stand. Make it so that I can stand it. Make it so that I love the money more just like everybody else does on this damn planet. They fear what I'm going through more than they fear doing something they don't want to do. But then I look around and I realize a lot of them can't do what I can do. And that's why their time can be best spent in spaces like that, because they don't have the ability to do other things that make it better. I can do 100,000 different things with the time that I'm wasting trying to keep it together. I don't want to work Amazon Prime and drive that shit around all day. I'm looking at homie driving that big ass truck around. I'm not wired for that. I'm wired for this. And while I'm trying to make the world what I want it to be, it's just an endless abyss of capitalism and low frequency shit. And so I just keep walking, man. Maybe something will happen. Maybe I'll run into maybe a bag of money will just pop up in my feet. You know, miracles happen. Buy a lottery ticket, save me all my problems. You get win the Powerball. Anything can happen, right? So I leave room for that, because good things are happening to people every day. And those good things may have never happened to them before. It's unprecedented for good things to come their way. It's possible. Impossible? Who knows? I believe in God, though. That's the beautiful thing about my existence. Throughout all this, I know that God exists. He's proven himself to me. That's why I haven't quit. That's why. It's because I know him. It's because I've walked in these shoes and seen him provide me the ability to move towards steps that I didn't want to take and overcome. I remember when I didn't want to get my GED, and I also remember getting it. I remember when I didn't want to go to school, and I also remember getting there. I remember times when things were not safe and I was able to get out of those situations unscathed. I remember times, man. And so as I stand walking down the street with yet another bit of faith to apply, I look back on what most recently happened when I had all of my things unattended and had to rely on faith and others to just not steal from me while I was in a position to not do for so. And nothing was stolen. Not to say that I was entitled to not have something stolen, not to say nothing's never been stolen before, but in that moment, I applied faith. It worked out for me. Everything I had, 3 different places basically, unattended. In places around, surrounded by strangers, because I didn't even know nobody. And so that's what God has done for me, man. I asked him to take care of that. He took care of that. And so I'm asking him to take care of this. That's really what it is, man. I want better for myself. I want better for you. I want better for everybody in this world that wants something better than just to have to work or hustle or go hard. It's some negative thing that's gonna have them thrown in jail for a long time or whatever the heck it is, man. I want better for people, man. I want better for myself. I want a higher frequency where we can be ourselves and still eat, still shelter, still get the help that maybe we need, or be the help that someone else needs without being guilted against it by way of our politics and policies. I want something better than what I see 2023. I'm praying for it. Just as my ancestors prayed for the freedom that I have right now to walk down the street instead of needing to slave whatever that horrible labor would be. with those personalities of people who were just above them. They're simply above them, not by way of anything else other than the same law that we capitulate to at this time. Just because of their skin color, they were forced to work tirelessly in the sun, work tirelessly in the house, cooking for people, slaving over people, being sex slaves for people, all types of other horrors that they will not tell you my people went through. But I can feel that I'm blessed because I don't know no more about it than you do as it pertains to having to go through that stress. And yet, the world I'm in ain't good enough for me. I find no peace. BDF 44, thank you all for watching. I'm out.